Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Today is February 26th, 2025. The years keep coming and they don't stop coming. And we're doing business and social for the middle of this week. Prepare your butts.
A big day for one of the most evil companies in the world, according to some people. And
Which one?
a tough one for mom and pop, although I guess they're the loser either way, right?
Amazon surpasses Walmart in revenue for the first time. And it's not Amazon, this is like Amazon products. So 180.5 billion versus 187.8 billion.
This is one quarter. It'll probably swing back. But still, Walmart's a big player. And Amazon hasn't been around that long, relatively.
But also, what does that say about the number of people that are willing to buy stuff and just have Amazon ship it to you?
They'll go wherever it's cheapest right now. And I guess Amazon is, for now, cheaper.
Amazon can ship cat food to me at the exact same price as me going to the store and getting it. I don't know how they're doing it. I guess the stores are marking up too much, but isn't grocery like low margin?
It is pretty low margin from what I understand.
Well, the days of you speaking to other humans are probably coming to a close. And one company is going to do everything they can to make sure that you don't even try.
HP is deliberately adding 15 minutes waiting time for telephone support calls to make sure that you wait at least 15 minutes because you could use the self-service tools online or if you had a chat to get a solution faster, they say. So they need to discourage you from getting a faster solution via telephone.
Completely fake. They have people waiting, presumably, but they will never give you one before 15 minutes. That's not everywhere. That's UK, Ireland, France, Germany, and Italy. But I imagine if it saves them money and forces people into the horrible online self-help experience, it'll be everywhere.
What I feel bad for the people on the other end of that phone who are just trying to do a job and the person you're getting ready to talk to and try to help has already enraged after 15 minutes.
They mention that, and the people have registered their complaint. Like, you don't have to deal with people after they've been on the phone for 15 minutes waiting, listening to that music. It's bad. I mean, you're already in a bad mood, right? Something's broken. Yeah, it's terrible. And we are, doing the whole immigration thing, but there is one giant piece of that has not been talked about, which is weird because the first Trump term, it was talked about. It was demonized. But now, for some reason, not getting any talking points.
Former staffers say India's biggest IT firm was gaming the U.S. visa system to bring people to work on stuff. Tata, the consultants, they're big. I've got some inside baseball on the whole UPS Tata setup where they did a bunch of stuff for UPS and their software side of things and all that. But basically, it's like these consulting firms would bring people to the U.S. and gobble up a lot of the visa capacity. And it was really just, the UPS and other companies laying off internal developers to hire these consultants.
So this is not H-1B, which is what Musk's baby is. This is H-1A1 management. But what these people are claiming, and they had some people who actually did this, is that they would just simply call you a manager, ship you over here, and one guy they interviewed, he was like, yeah, I did sales. I worked the front desk. I was never a manager. They paid me half of what the managers made. But on paper, I was a manager because that's easier to do than H-1B. And apparently that's pretty widespread. And the rich are perhaps a little paranoid right now.
As they should be.
Because as everybody becomes unemployed and the economy tanks, what's going to happen to them? Well, good news, there's an app for that.
Uber for armed guards rushes to market following the UnitedHealthcare thing that happened.
So you can go on here. They got some marketing materials. They claim every one of these guys is former police or military, and they talk about their qualifications and so forth, and you can just order them up. They come with...
So they're rent-a-cops, but if someone else paid more than you...
They're mercenaries.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, they're mercenaries.
Isn't this from RoboCop? I seem to remember this from one of the RoboCop movies.
So you get a motorcade, and you choose the number of Escalades in your motorcade and the number of goons in your Escalades. And they will come and rush to you.
enemy NPCs.
And the advertising industry, as we know, has pretty much every piece of data that has ever existed about us. They know everything, even things that it's illegal to know.
Google Ad Tech users can target national security, quote unquote, decision makers and people with chronic diseases. Have you noticed, like, just even with this program, if you're watching the ads, there's a lot of like health related ads for various things? That's not a coincidence. There's more dimensions and metrics being tracked than previously.
Now, you as a pleb are not able to get a hold of this. You must run some sort of marketing company or something like that. But the reporter here created a fake one and just created a couple of websites and submitted, and he was granted immediate access. I was able to do all these queries. I mean, I had to pay for it, but that's not a high hurdle for some people. And Apple maybe has officially lost the App Store war. This might be the first of a many crumbling bricks.
Google Play Books purchases on iOS now skirt the App Store's commission.
That big blue button right there, that means you're not paying 30% to Apple. The thing
Smashes the button.
they fought bitterly for.
Apple's certainly not providing any value there, above and beyond the exorbitant inflated prices that you're paying for the hardware.
Not providing any value, unlike Microsoft, who's providing all the value with AI-controlled Notepad.
Microsoft just put this controversial Notepad feature behind a paywall. Basically, when you launch Notepad, you can't use the rewrite function unless you have AI credits or you're signed into an account or a bunch of other things. Who wants this in Notepad? Notepad!
Notepad's just for like dumping your thoughts and then you organize them later.
Well, they want to have AI help you rewrite that. So literally everything you type into your computer is being sent to Microsoft's cloud.
And as every tech company just reminds us again and again why we should hate them. One man stands alone, a shining beacon.
Valve releases Team Fortress 2 full client and source code. Thank you, Valve. Now, you can't use it for commercial stuff, but you could take it, hack on it. Maybe we'll get something as insane as Gary's mod from this. Who knows?
Oh, that would be great.
So the big complaint against Team Fortress 2 is that it's full of bots and cheaters, and Valve is not going to do anything about that. They're probably never going to do anything about that, but I think this is them kind of saying, fine, you do it.
But that's if you don't want to invest resources in it, that's better than just like holding on to it and not letting anyone play it anymore.
Oh, yeah, I'm not complaining.
Yeah.
You mean like how Sony, we talked about DMCA'd the Bloodborne people that made it run at 60 FPS on PC?
Or BattleBit. Or not BattleBit, but Battleborn. Where you can't play it anymore, it's just gone. Because, we don't want to maintain it and we took the servers offline.
And the clock is ticking on your Windows 10 install. What will you do without it? Will you pay the fee? Well, there is another option now.
Hacker Group releases an updated tool. This is a TechSpot article. We're talking about the TechSpot article and not the tool because reasons. It's kind of wild. Because, if we tell you about, if we had a sponsor that was like, you can buy Eastern European product keys over here, that would not be okay. YouTube frowns upon that. So it's just like...
But bizarrely, this is hosted on GitHub.
Yeah.
And
Which is Microsoft.
No one's done anything about it. So...
I think Microsoft might be scared of how many people are adopting Linux.
Is it actually the year?
I don't know if it's the year of the Linux desktop, but Valve, once again, Lord Gaben, has done more for the year of the Linux desktop than any human being. He is the William Carrier of bringing us Linux, as opposed to poisoning the planet.
And might be poisoning the planet. We don't know. Unlikely.
There has never been a more destructive human being in all of human history than William Carrier.
And this is the hype of the week. There are caveats here, but also the timing is so suspicious. Decades of nothing.
Yeah.
Of nothing. And then China does 12 seconds. And then right after that,
France runs its fusion reactor for a record 22 minutes. So this is an academic fusion reactor. They ran this for 22 minutes to gather data.
That looks like the best play place I've ever been to.
It's a very dangerous play place. Don't let your children.
There's a ball pit in there. There's a really good ball pit. You just have to climb through all those tubes.
Was it like 3 grams of helium is equivalent to 11 tons of coal or something?
And this will never be commercial. It's not designed to output more than the input, like for long times. It's just proof of concept. But still,
That it was successful so far.
that we went from 12 seconds to 22 minutes in what, a month?
Yeah. Listen, the AI. The AI demands fuel. It demands electricity.
But energy industry demands not. So is that telling us that the balance of power has truly shifted away from fossil fuels?
Yeah.
Forever?
Maybe.
And there are plenty of chips that are going to be hungry for all that power, and even more and more hungry chips are coming.
Microsoft deploys a new state of matter in its first quantum computing chip. So this one is not going to be attached to the cloud, unlike IBM's quantum computer, which is already in the cloud. But Microsoft is saying, we figured out a new way, a new state of matter that is more conducive to doing quantum computing. And so this little thing is 8 qubits. But it's going to pave the way for something that will be, millions of qubits in very short order.
They describe literally, like, it's almost spray-on atomic level particles to get here. But they suspect that AI will get a lot better at that and figure that out even faster. And the tariffs are coming, as we spoke about yesterday. What is the reaction going to be? How are the companies going to do? Are they going to make the consumer carry all of those prices? Well, we have our first data point.
Computer giant to raise prices by 10% in response to Trump's tariffs. That's Acer. And they're also considering moving their manufacturing out of China and a whole bunch of other ways to address this.
Which would be a win.
Yeah.
If that happens, Trump would be able to say, hey, look what I did. 10%, though, out of 25. So they are eating a piece of this. And I think it was only on the laptops, right? And now might be a good time for you to run out and buy some parts before you never can again.
NAND flash prices plunge amid global supply glut. Factory output has been cut. This is kind of wild because remember when 4 terabyte NVMEs were like less than $200 for a while, and then the price shot up, and now it's coming back down again?
Probably because people are poor and not buying new computers and phones. And if that is not enough storage for you and you would like to stick with traditional hard drives, we also have some excitement for there.
Western Digital is going to unveil a 44 terabyte heat-assisted magnetic recording hard drive in 2026. 100 terabyte mechanical hard drives by 2030, because that is what's required to keep up with flash storage. Because 16 terabyte flash drives are becoming old hat.
By that time, I would say probably half of the land mass in the United States will be data centers.
All our national parks just bulldozed.
And the old, I'm going to sell you a product, and then later I'm going to tell you about the subscription model is becoming more and more popular.
This smart thermostat company is considering charging users for its app.
And by considering, they're absolutely going to do it.
There's never been a better time to upgrade to Home Assistant.
So this is if you want to use Bluetooth. You can still use some of the other ways of doing it. But Bluetooth through an app is going to cost you $1 a month.
That sounds incredibly convenient. Oh my gosh. We should definitely charge $1 a month for.
And something that will cost far more than $1 a month is going to Nvidia. And only Nvidia, it seems.
Nvidia to consume 77% of wafers used for AI processors in 2025. Good
They're so
Lord.
crunchy.
AMD had like 6%, something like that. Not even close. And like the stuff going to China, it's barely even a percentage point. It's a very one-sided battle. But this battle has been lost. Of course, we all knew that it was going to be lost. But finally, it took a long time for this poor horse to die. It's dead.
Nikola, the once a darling of green investment, has filed for bankruptcy. You'll remember this company as the company that said, we're going to do long-haul electric shipping trucks. And here's our prototype. And it was a truck that had a huge dust cloud behind it that was actually rolling downhill. The founder got in trouble for that. I think there was some prison time or something.
I think he might still be there.
Yeah, it was bad. It was not good. The pitch for this company was literally, we're going to be Tesla, without Elon Musk. Ta-da, our name, Nikola. It's Tesla without Musk. Isn't this great? And they couldn't do it. Couldn't pull it off.
I think they were doing hydrogen cells as well, not just pure battery.
I think they said whatever they...
Yeah, well, they didn't do anything. So
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
easy
Well, it
to
was a
say.
grift, yeah.
They made something like 300, 400 trucks in their entire run as a company. And none of them were commercially viable.
They were not even complete trucks. It was just...
All prototypes.
Yeah, it's just like, where's the motor and the batteries, fellas?
Well, we got the big Apple announcement, and as expected, it wasn't anything all that impressive. But they are perhaps admitting that the U.S. consumer might be a little strapped for cash.
Apple launches the iPhone 16e, $600, but it's missing MagSafe. But hey, USB-C, it's more affordable. It's got some features.
Our biggest announcement ever. Oh, it's okay.
Not much of an announcement at all. And those of you who are in the market for a tablet, but you don't want to be constantly spied upon by the device that you buy, well, maybe there's a new option for you.
Murena released a de-Googled version of the Pixel tablet.
They even come with their own app store, which will serve as a proxy between you and the app store so they can't spy on you.
Which actually I thought was a pretty clever idea. I mean, there's stuff in Android you can do app sandboxing as well, but nobody ever does that for some reason.
Also, it's going to cost more than a traditional Pixel tablet because you actually have to pay a premium to get Google out of your tablet. Think about that. And if you made a really, really bad decision last year, well, you're not going to be enjoying it anymore, but it probably isn't going to affect you, right? Because I guess that nobody is using these. There has to be like 0.01% use at this case.
All of Humane's AI pins will stop working in 10 days. Actually, they stop working, what is it, today? Tomorrow?
This was the 18th, so it'll be next week sometime.
Yeah.
HP bought it.
Yeah, HP bought them, but you're gonna lose access to all your stuff. They're just turning it off because you can't even get a refund unless you bought it in the last 90 days, which is just insane.
Now that we got Starlink, you got your phone is going to be satellite enabled soon, and there's literally no place on earth you can go to escape the emails and the phone calls. So maybe you'd have to leave the earth, right? But no, you're not safe there either.
Nokia is putting the first cellular network on the moon, mainly to test radiation hardening.
Some astronomers raised their hand and they said, I have a radio telescope. How's that going to affect that?
Don't worry about it.
Basically, that was the answer.
Yeah.
You know when you guys complained about those Starlinks blocking all of your regular telescopes? And they're like, yeah, and it did. And they're like, well, that's going to happen again.
It's more important that we find a way to commercialize this than actually doing research.
There's a bunch of new lunar rovers, and they're all going to be communicating nicely over their little network there, sharing memes with each other.
Check out this rock I found, guys.
And good news if you're looking to give Apple even more of your sensitive and intimate details.
Apple launches its first major health study in 5 years. Here's how you can opt in. So you get an Apple Watch, you got some other stuff. Maybe you've got your patient records. Apple would like you to share all that so that they can take care of you. They want a better future, a better tomorrow. They
They're
really
going to
just
fix
want
you.
your health data. Is it weird that Google and Apple at the same time are getting kind of handsy with your health data? Like, did the laws change? I thought that some of the healthcare data protection laws were kind of stringent.
Well, the cash-strapped consumer, that's going to be the only spending they have left. Food and health.
In order to survive, I had to sell my plasma and my digital plasma.
And here we have a follow-up. Last week we talked about the unskippable ads every time your Jeep stopped. Not when you started it, but every time you came to a stop. Full screen ad that you couldn't get rid of.
Straight to the killdozer.
Well, they've responded, Krista. They said that you got it all wrong.
Jeep says the repeated full screen pop-up ads are a glitch and not just a nightmare. You know, you got to read the word glitch with the exact intonation as those guys from the movie Office Space. So you fired him, right? No. We fixed the glitch. It'll just work itself out.
So yeah, they said, we were experimenting with that, but it definitely wasn't supposed to pop up every time. There was supposed to be a button that said, don't show this again. We definitely didn't just test to see how much you would tolerate and then move it back a little bit.
Isn't our future amazing? Or are we just having like now you're going to have to buy an AI that defends your attention from distractions.
And Zelle is a person-to-person payment, and it's really hot on the Facebook marketplace. And Zelle is saying, no, you shouldn't do that. You'd be stupid to use it there. That's not what we made that for.
Chase is not going to allow you to use Zelle with people in your social media contact list because of fraud.
Because it's all a scam. There's no protection here. So when you Zelle somebody, that's it. It's over. You've done it. There is no clawing back. And people on Facebook will message you and say, hey, I have whatever you want. Just give me that Zelle.
I always do transactions in cash when I do stuff on Marketplace.
That's because you're a terrorist.
You meet at a shady gas station at like 7:30 p.m.
Put it in a brown paper bag.
Here's your cash. Thanks for all these old barn windows.
And WhatsApp, they have been doing really well, but unfortunately for them, they've passed a milestone.
WhatsApp faces tougher EU rules as users top 45 million. So there's some more stringent requirements that they have to comply with, and probably also have to, build in a backdoor now or something.
Yeah, that makes them a large digital platform, which in the EU means a whole different set of rules. You got to let those backdoors in there.
Womp womp.
And, Meta. Moving over to social media, Meta has decided to move away from just social media. They are now in the business of connecting the world.
Unlocking global AI potential with next-generation subsea infrastructure. Oh, the oceans aren't boiling fast enough. We should just put our infrastructure there. No, they're going to do the longest fiber optic line in the world, and they're going to try to connect all these hubs this way. But
You get so many victory points for that.
I don't think we should show them exactly where the wires are, because those have a habit of malfunctioning when we know where they are.
Greenland's like, bro.
You mean red, white, and blue land?
What? Why don't we get it? Yeah, going to be the biggest cable ever, and just insane length in terms of, I think it can cross the earth more than once if you just laid it out. And as you'll recall, Meta has been firing people. All the tech companies have been firing people. And they said, we got to do this to keep the cost down and everything. And then, as usual, they do this.
Meta approves a plan for bigger executive bonuses following 5% layoffs. Now, Mark Zuckerberg is exempted from this.
Which was repeated like 10 times in the article.
Yeah.
I was like, someone's a little freaked out.
He is not going to get a bigger bonus. But bosses and managers that meet certain performance criteria can get up to 200% of their base pay. This was previously a 75% limitation.
And as we know, Reddit has now made a deal with, it was OpenAI, right? To let the AI get in there and read the last bastion of humanity. What was the name of the city in the Matrix? Zion?
Yeah, Zion, yeah.
This is the last place where there's people on the internet, but they're going to let the robots in, and it's causing some issues.
Reddit mods are fighting to keep AI slop off of subreddits, and they could use some help. Boy, we've been fighting this on the forum. Like, the AI will respond to years-old threads with, like, a summary of the thread, and it's well written, and it's just like, no, stop this.
And taking that deal was maybe a lifeline for them. However, it was uncovered that, yes, Google was, in fact, routing search results from Reddit to the top of the list. Shamelessly, there was an agreement in place. Now they've stopped that because they got caught and had an immediate effect.
Reddit continues to show the flip side of AI, the chart of the week, which shows that Reddit has stopped getting new users.
That's logged in versus logged out, because people just clicking through from search engines has taken a huge, huge dive. Mm-hmm. And they slowed down their rate of new users. And finally, the war of Doge continues to bleed over into Twitter. And another, as usual, it's done and then undone, and no one knows why or on what timeline.
X/Twitter briefly blocked, then unblocked Signal signal links as federal workers seek security. It's like, I've been laid off, or I'm in danger, or whatever. And it's just like, oh, we're not going to permit links to Signal. It's like, why wouldn't you permit links to Signal? It doesn't
Free
make any
speech
sense.
absolutist, by the way.
What a world.
The play has been, like, there's some people that say things like, oh, it's a ketamine fueled whatever, and it's like, there's some evidence to support that.
Well, I mean, you can't be on ketamine all day long. You'd be asleep. Is he microdosing?
Yeah, I don't know. It's just
He's just alternating
there's
like,
so much that's
between
just
different drugs.
it's just unhinged.
A little upper to get
Yeah,
you going in the
yeah.
morning. That's what Michael Jackson was doing, right?
I think, if you reach a certain level of addiction, perhaps that's how you live your life. Is you're on uppers in the morning, and in the evening you're on downers.
But drugs are illegal.
Oh, that's true. Good
He
point.
wouldn't be able to
Counterpoint.
get those. Yeah.
Yeah, it's illegal, so obviously that can't happen.
It definitely doesn't feel like a two-tier system at all. Multi-tier system. We're on the bottom.
Join us on the bottom on Friday.
Stay noited.